Peace to everybody out there. Shalom. Now, I told y'all I was going to come back and I was going to give you a testimony. The reason I deleted my other videos because I don't deal with the conflict. You know, I'm giving a testimony because it's truthful and maybe it'll help somebody in the faith. You know, because I know a lot of people is struggling to believe, you know, in Christ because they never seen nothing supernatural, you know, and they haven't witnessed anything to the point where it can help them out in their walk. But, you know, I gave a testimony that maybe, you know, they can be beneficial, you know, to them in their walk. But I also want to give another testimony about something that happened to me when I was younger as well. And this one, you know, this is one I'll tell you about the angel, that I talked to the angel. And this was around the time, you know, probably about a good couple months after the spiritual road spirit, you know, wrapped the contrary stuff around me. And I remember that I got off work that day and I went into a deep sleep. I got home and went into a deep sleep. And it was around probably about 10. And yeah, I dozed off. I didn't wake up to probably about 3, but let me tell you what happened in between that time. In the vision, I had a dream I was at a person's feet and I was wrapped around their leg and this person stood tall in a statue. And I remember saying, I'm not worthy to look at your face. And so next thing you know, the being who the angel, I had my arms up around his leg, you know, he slowly put his arms around my shoulder and he lifted me up gently. And not only did he lift me up, but because he stood taller than me, he stood at least probably about a good, I think about 3 feet taller than me. And he lifted up my chin and I looked him right in the face. And he was so beautiful. I'm talking about like his face. You know, because we're supposed to give praise to angels. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just giving you a testimony. But he looked it young with no blemishes, but you knew he wasn't. And if I can take like 10 million babies and put them in one room and see who got the most humblest and beautiful eyes I ever seen, they still wouldn't compare to his. And the way he stared, it's like you knew he wasn't judging you, you know. And when I looked at him, he said, "Go tell your brother I got a message for him." And in the vision, I was so happy to go do this, and I did. And got to my brother's door, and I was knocking on the door now, and he answered the door. I saw what brother it was. He answered the door. And as soon as he answered the door, I said, "God got a message for you." And my brother was happy to hear that God had a message for him. He said, "Tell him to come on in." So in the vision, I get to praising God more than anything. Now it was nighttime in this dream. And I saw a big moon and I saw another light that was like 30 times brighter than the moon right beside it. And I looked into that light while I was praising God. And I looked up to the light and I said, "I'm a messenger of God." And this is exactly the words I heard. And it said, "It's so sweet and so soft, surely you are." And next thing you know, the dream switched and the same angel was there. And this time we was in my brother's house. I was sitting on the couch. And the angel was trying to get my brother's attention. But the angel muted my ears in the house, so I couldn't hear anything. I'm just looking at them two. And next thing you know, the angel unmuted my ears at the last little bit. And I heard my brother say what he said. My brother said, I don't believe in you, I believe in this. And so he pointed at the Bible and he said, I don't believe in this. I mean, then you, I believe in this. And he's pointing at the Bible. So I heard the angel rebuttal and say, woe to you. It'll be better in these days than the days to come. Now I woke up. It was exactly 3:48 a.m. Now mind you, I'm fighting within myself. Because sometimes the spirits are telling me, go tell your brother to drink. And I had to go to work that day. And it's going to get hilarious in a little bit, but it's going to tell you how God works. But I worked all day, and this day I got off early because normally the shift was 5:30 from 5 to 7 in the morning, but I got off early because it was Mother's Day. I ain't even know this day was Mother's Day. And I got off at 11. And I was fighting that whole day from that morning all the way to 11 p.m. Fighting within myself. I said I would not tell my brother that dream because it wasn't a good dream. And so my coworker who had relieved me, because we had to switch position, he had to come drive his car up there and I give him the walkie-talkie and I go home. And I asked him, because he was a believer, I said, man, if God tell you to do something, would you do it? His exact words, well, Brother Dean, you don't have no other choice. I said, okay. And I got in my car, and in my mind I was saying, I bet you I do. And so, mind you, I should don't ever do this. Because I did this out of ignorance. Don't test God. Don't tempt him. And I was driving home, and in my mind, in my thoughts, I was saying, I'm not telling him that dream. And I mind you, this is the love and patience of God working in me because, I'm sure, that as a believer, as a person now who is the knowledge and the wisdom and the word of God, I know this is a testament to the fact of how patient he is with us. Cause I was fighting with him that whole day. Now mind you now, that it's 11 o'clock. I only got one more hour for this day over with, and I win the battle. And so, all of a sudden, it was about 11:45 when I was pulling up my apartment complex. And my stomach, I got hungry, but I knew it wasn't nothing in my house to eat. I mean, not appetizing, so I knew my mother lived 5 minutes down the road, though. So I got back in the car, and I drove down my mother's house, and I forgot that it was Mother's Day today because I was so bothered by the vision earlier that morning. And as soon as I drove on her road, I saw a whole lot of cars parked in front of her driveway, but nobody parked in the driveway. And I was like, that's weird. So I pulled my car up in the driveway, and I'm like, why everybody parked? And I'm thinking in my mind, why they here? Because why are my brothers here? And so, as soon as I got out the car, I put my hand on the doorknob. The first person who pulling on the back side of the doorknob was my brother. And so, the one he wanted me to, because I got 4 brothers, the one he wanted me to tell the dream to. So, he was like, man, what's going on, man? So, he trying to greet me. And I ignored him. And I went upstairs. And the second person to greet me and talk to me was him. He came up the stairs because he probably was bothered about why I ain't saying nothing to him. So he said, what's wrong with you, man? You all right? I said, yeah, I'm good, man. I just came to get something to eat. I'm going back to the house. I said, why everybody is? I said, they Mother's Day. I said, oh, man, for real? I said, man, because I'm all messed up in the head now. So next thing you know, all of a sudden, my mother, I went outside. And my mother was outside, and I asked her, I said, Mom, let me ask you a question. She said, yeah. I said, if God tell you to do something, would you do it? She said, you don't have no other choice. The exact same words this guy said. So I'm still in rebellion, and mind you, it's close to 12, and I get in my car. I got the plate in my lap. aluminum foil on it. And I heard a voice so loud and so clear in my head that I dropped the plate on the floor of my car. It said, if you don't tell your brother what I told you, I will make your days horrible. And I dropped the plate right on my lap on the floor. And I was shaking. And I said, bump this. So I got out the car and I went straight to the door. As soon as I touched the doorknob again, he on the other side pulling it. And I was like, all right. I said, it's only obvious God want me to tell you this. He said, what you talking about? I said, look, I had a vision and I was talking, and the angel told me to go tell you he had a message for you from God. And I told him what happened. And of course it wasn't a good dream. And so my brother got pissed off. He said, man, and I'm going to be used the word. He said, who the hell is you to tell me about a dream and about God and about this, and you ain't even holy yourself? And I felt hurt because I didn't want to tell him this. And he got his family, he stormed off and he left. Now everybody looking at me as a party pooper, like, what the hell? Why would he tell him that? And so I went home and I was hurt. I damn near cried, man, because it seemed like I was becoming a black sheep in this family. And I got another job. It was 2 months later. I quit the other job and I started working at the dealership. And me and my brother ain't talked after this point. And I took one of the cars off the lot because they let you take the cars off the lot, and I went there because I had my check and I was going to cash my check. I left my car in the dealership and I took one of the dealership cars. And I decided I want to go check on him, see how you doing. And it was like 3 months later. And so, soon as I got to his house, he was happy to greet me. His wife was, because I knocked on her door and she was like, Rod, because they called me my nickname, that's what they called me. But come on in, me. Oh, I got something to tell you. Well, I ain't gonna say my brother's name. Forgive me for saying that on this, but your brother got something to tell you. So I went up there and I talked to him, and he was like, man, he had a couple beers and whatnot, and he was like, man, let me tell you something. I said, what's up? He said, God came to me in a vision. I said, really? Now, we both forgot about it because it was water on the bridge. It was 3 months later. We both went on about our life. We forgot about it. So I'm thinking that maybe it was that I was deceived and I ain't supposed to tell him that. But it was water on the bridge for both of us. So he was saying, God visit me, man. I said, for real? He said, yeah. He said, but he threw me in some fire. I said, what? He said, yeah, man. He threw me in some fire. And his wife was behind him. And his wife was testifying to his testimony. Saying, yes, he did. He did. Because he woke up saying he was on fire and I was trying to put him out. And I was like, really? Like, yeah, man. God said, I got to get my life together. I said, man, that's messed up to hear. And I had to go back to the dealership, so I gave him some dap and I was on my way. And I didn't realize until I got into my car 3 months ago, God told me he was going to come visit you through that angel. And it kind of gave me a relief that, that I didn't do anything, that it was his will. And it kind of excited me in a way, but I felt bad in another because what's going on between God and my brother and his spiritual walk is between him and God. So I don't want to get into that, but it did happen. And that testimony is one of out of many testimonies that I have and that I had and I still do have, but like I said, I was going to post a video and I was going to tell you, I don't want to make my brother look like a heathen, because this was at the age around 24, 25. I'm 36 now. So, and he's still living, so may God continue working with him spiritually. But I'm just giving you the testimony. And God bless and may it help some of y'all in y'all faith walk. Shalom.